Hi there again, everybody. Boyd here with you, and welcome back. Well, this is part 15 of our Polar Lights 1/350 scale Enterprise refit build. And if you guys will recall, in our last video we left off working on our Aztecs that we were doing on the starboard side of the secondary hull here. And you can see that's all looking really nice. And we've got our belly already done from our previous videos here. And things are coming along really well. So what I've been doing today is I've been working on the outer edge of the outer side of the starboard pylon here, and you can see I've got my three different colors on this. I've got green, blue, and gold, and this is working out really nice. I'm really happy with it. Over here you can see that I'm using the instructions that I downloaded from Orbital Dry Dock's website in a PDF file, and so this gives you step-by-step instructions on how to use these masks. Now Brett's got something really nice going on this particular area of the model. He gives you three completely separate masks, which are pre-cut with different locations for all of these nice lightning bolts here. And so basically you start off with the first one and you remove all the cutouts and apply it onto the model, and in this case we sprayed our first color onto that, which was our blue, and then we remove that mask and repeat the procedure and lay our second mask on there and did our green, and then we finished up with the gold. So again, the cutouts are already placed so that they offset and they're not overlapping, so they all line up really nice. So that worked out great. What we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to turn around and do the one on the port side, the outer pylon. So I'll get the camera set up on the tripod here, and we'll get our masks prepared and we'll take you through that. We promised we were going to show you this whole build step by step here on the channel, and that's just what we're going to do, guys. So stand by, we'll be right back with that. Alright everyone, well I apologize for the noise here in the background. It's gotten quite warm out in the shop, so I've got the air conditioning on, but we'll get through this anyway. You can see that I've used all three of the separate masks that I talked about here, and I've removed all the pre-cut areas here for our different colors, or weeded them off as Brett refers to it in his instructions, in case you wondered what that means. Now I'm applying my transfer tape onto this. I thought I'd show you again really quick how this works. Just laying this down on top and using this little squeegee to make them stick really well. And then we're going to apply our first one. I've got these numbered on the back side like Brett recommended, so you don't get them mixed up. When you look at the decal sheets, I'm sorry, the masking sheets, you'll see when you look at the instructions that there's the one that he recommends to start with and then the ones following. So let's flip this over and see which one. We've got number 2 there, so we've got number 1 here. So we're going to start off with this one. I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way. And you can see what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use that rolling technique that we talked about before, where we're going to roll this paper off of here and leave our mask behind. So I'm going to start off with this one right here and work my way back. And we just keep even pressure on this. Got both of my fingers down on that, and I'm just kind of rolling it back. Hopefully you guys can see this in the shot. And that way we are leaving our mask behind and removing our backing paper and not lifting any of the mask with it. Again, talking about this again, if you lift a little bit of off of there, just back up and roll it back down. Or if you got one that's really stubborn, just let it come with the paper, and then you can take your tweezers and just reapply it back onto the mask, which you transfer everything over to the model. Okay, so we've got this removed nice and clean. I'm going to take my scissors here and just kind of trim it down a little bit, staying just outside of the mask. Alright guys, so we've got this one ready to go. I'm going to reposition the camera and we'll come back and show it being applied onto the model, and we'll spray our first color onto this. Be right back with that. Alright everybody, well we're ready to rock and roll here. Let's go ahead and get our mask put down. I'm going to really carefully place it on here, and remember what I talked about earlier is that you want to just kind of look really carefully when you're placing this, and don't attach it anywhere until you're absolutely sure that everything is lined up the way you want it to be. We want to be just behind this little line here on the leading edge of the pylon where our our duck egg blue color goes. So we're good to go here. We're just going to lay this down, and then you just take your squeegee tool like we did before and just go over this. Just to get them kind of pre-stuck down on there. Again, we're not hurting the paint at all because we're running this over the backing tape here, transfer tape. Looks like we've got a little bit carrying over down here on the bottom. That's okay, we've got a seam there on the bottom, we're not going to worry about that. So, okay, we're good to go here, guys. Now I'm going to do the same procedure that we did before when we peel this off, like we did on the backing tape when we were first transferring the mask. So I'm just going to start rolling this down. If I get a little bit starting to peel on the very beginning, I just kind of stick that on there with my hand. And once we get started here, you'll see it'll start to go pretty smooth. And we're just going to evenly do this. It's a little tricky, like I said, but you get the hang of it after a while. And again, don't panic if you pull one up or something like that. You can always put it back on. Okay, we're down to the very bottom and we're clean and we've got everything looking good. I'm just going to take my fingers and gently go over this and push everything down and make sure it's stuck very well. And we're not going to have any lifting on the edges of the masks when we spray. We're looking really good. Now I'm not going to worry about masking this right here because we're going to come back and paint that with our duck egg blue. And we're just going to keep the air spraying straight at this, so we don't want to get any paint on the edges here in the back. So I'm going to pause just for a second, everybody, and set up my blue color in my airbrush, and we'll come back and spray our first color on this. Be right back with that. Alright, so here we are and ready to go. We've got everything set up now. We've got our color ready to go. I'm going to do a little quick test shot with my spray here, and looking good. So we'll just gently and nicely, evenly spray this on. And that's all there is to that, everybody. So we'll come back and let this dry for just a second, and then we'll pull our mask, and then we're going to reapply the second mask and switch to our second color, which will be the green. So stand by for that one. So we're here back with you again, guys, and I've got my green all loaded up in the gun now, and we're going to hit it with the green. So here we go again. Nice and easy. Nice even coat. Beautiful. And we'll give it a little shot with the heat gun here. Again, this is lacquer-based paint, and we're spraying it on really, really thin, guys, so I mean it doesn't take at all, especially with this heat gun, very long at all for it to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the mask on camera here for you. Let's do that real quick. Okay, got a couple little pieces of residue here. You can see how easily this stuff comes off, guys, no problem at all. Got that gone. Use my towel here to make sure we get that little scrap off of there. Okay, so we've got two colors on this now. We've got our blue and our green, and you probably can't even see it yet. So let's go ahead and apply our third color. I'm going to prep the mask. I've got to trim the edges for it, and then we'll come and apply it back on here, so we'll come right back with that. So here we have our third and final mask ready to be applied on here, guys. So let me go ahead and get this put on here really fast. And I've already got my gold color laid into my gun here, so we're ready to go. And I'm just going to lay this on here just like so. And we'll go ahead and smooth it out again with our little squeegee here. I really like this system that Brett's got for this. It's just so nice for this complete transfer versus other masks that are out there where you've got to place each individual mask on the model. With this two-part transfer tape, I mean, you can do whole sections at a time like this. It just works really fantastic. And you can see we're getting some beautiful results here. Let's work this one down like we did before. Wrinkle in that. You can see this stuff is not sticking on the model like super sticky either, so if you get a little wrinkle or something like that, you can easily manipulate it and move it around. Again, the material that Brett's used for this mask is specifically designed for airbrush artists to do this type of work, so it just works fantastic. Smooth this out as we go. Down to the bottom here. And there we go. Let's go ahead and make sure it's all down nice and smooth here and stuck down so we don't lift anywhere when we spray. And we're looking good. Alright, so we are ready to spray again. I've got my gold all loaded up like I mentioned, so let's do our final color here. A little test spray. I always like to test spray just a little bit whenever I use my airbrush, just to make sure it's spraying evenly, and in case there's anything that might have dried in between when I was using it or whatever, it won't splatter when I first start spraying. So here we go. And that is it for our gold. Let's go ahead and dry this again real quick. And we'll go ahead and remove the mask again. Alright, we can take a look and see how she turned out here, guys. Now, every time I'm masking these parts of this model off, I'll point out a little tip here. I'm taking this tape and I'm kind of touching it on my shirt or my shorts here to get rid of a little bit of the tackiness to it, so that I don't have to worry about peeling anything off the model. But again, we used the adhesion promoter when we started out on this, and we sanded everything, and we sanded our primer, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. I'm going to pick the camera up off the tripod now so we can take a look at the results of our work here in the light, and this should show up really nice. And you can see, there we go, guys. We've got all of our colors on this one, just like the other side. We've got our blue, green, and gold. Just absolutely beautiful. And that's the Enterprise Refit, guys. That's how she's supposed to look. Just absolutely phenomenal. And again, talking about when I talked to Paul Olson, who painted the studio model, he said that it looked like a shimmering opal, and that's exactly the effect that we're shooting for. Of course, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to come back and seal this up with some of our future like we did before on the rest of this as I work my way up. And then I'm going to spray my colors on here for the blowout panels, the leading edge, and our black, because we want this to be a little bit glossy, not super glossy, but a little bit glossy, and we want to seal those Aztecs. And then when we spray this other color on here, we want it to be a little bit more of a matte finish and not quite as glossy, so we have a difference in those panels. So that's going to be a wrap for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's how you do the Aztec masks on the Pylons with the orbital dry dock masking set. Things are doing really, really nice on this. I probably won't be showing the inboard side when I do the Pylons, because it'll just be a repeat of the same procedure. But in the next video, which will be part 16, we're going to be going up onto the sides of the torpedo bay here and up onto the neck. And once that's done, we've got a couple little sections here on the top here too. Once that's done, then the secondary hull will be completely done as far as the Aztec work is concerned, and then we can go and do our decaling and our trim painting on it. And like I mentioned in the last video, we'll have this pretty well wrapped up. The only thing left to do will be the deflector dish, and we'll do that once the model is all mounted up on the stand and everything. So that's it, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time, and happy modeling, everyone.